Hey guys, before we jump in this video, I just want to say thank you so much. We have reached 1,000 subscribers, and that is a milestone for me at least, and it couldn't be possible without you, so thank you so much. This video is a little different today. We have a guest barber. His name's Julio Cantu. He is a barber that is in the barbershop I work in, and he's a phenomenal barber, and I really think you guys will be able to learn something from him. Now, he cuts totally different than me, which is a good thing, because I don't think necessarily my system is the only way to get to a good end result. So hopefully you guys can learn something from him. Even if you guys can take one thing from him, one thing from me, and one thing from someone else and mesh it together for your own system, that's all that really matters. And I do want to mention, I had a couple comments talking about why I don't show the other side. And a lot of times it's tough too. I'm in the middle of a normal work day trying to record these videos, and it's hard to reposition the cameras. I used to do in the very beginning, but it just takes too much time to really do it. Now if I do end up having extra time, I don't mind doing that, but most of the time I have clients waiting. As a barber, you guys know how it is. I do want to mention the steps I am using on the side I am recording are the same exact steps I would use on the other side, if that helps any of you guys. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into this video.
So I'm Julio, work at Locals Barbershop here with Jacob. Here we'll be doing a slick back, mid fade, have a little bit of drop in the back. We're trying to leave a little bit of weight kind of around his ridge, just so once he slicks it back, this won't fall over. And that'll be pretty much it. I always like to start kind of wetting the hair, prepping the hair. Make sure it's kind of where it's supposed to be when the haircut gets done, and then kind of go just based off that. Oop, there it goes. So I'll be using my seniors. Start with the number 2. Typically, whenever I go with my 2, I like to kind of go midway. Like I said, leave that ridge. So I won't be going all the way up. I will kind of stop there and kind of just ridge out. Like you see, it's not debulking much. He got a haircut maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. I would say about there. So his hair is not too long. So this is my debulking process. This is wherever they come in. If they have really long hair, this is how I kind of knock it out the way. Prep my work. And then just getting ready for that next step. So now I switch up to my 1. I'll start with my 1 and I'll open it. Open, because of the fact my 2 is here, I kind of know my 1 will go right under that just a little bit. So I'll start with the lever open, flick out. And I'm not looking for a very drastic line. I kind of want a line that fades out a little bit. So I'm not looking for anything sharp. Kind of a lot of flicking out, just because we're gonna have such a small area to work in. I'd rather kind of just so back here I'm dropping it just a little bit, just a tad bit, nothing much. So now that's pretty much my prep work for my fade. Now I'll go in with my balding clippers. And I'll fade up. I'll do this step a little bit different than Jacob. I know maybe he uses the trimmers, I believe. I don't like doing that. I feel like I have to work out another line. So I'd rather just kind of fade up, flick out, and I won't have to deal with any line when it comes down to, at the end, when I come down to deleting this line. I'm going with my shaver. First I go down with it. That'll kind of debulk it a little bit. Go ahead and go up. Leave it right there. Take my shaver about here, not all the way up to the line. Just so I can kind of keep a little bit of stubble there. Go down, and I come up. Now, just in case you ever have a little bit of that stubble that kind of looks like a shadow right under that line, jump in with my trimmer. Just touch that up a little bit. Nothing major, nothing crazy. You're just touching whatever you didn't get with the shaver. Just touch that up with the trimmer. In case you're having, you can always turn it around. Make sure that area at the bottom is clean. And now this is where the fading happens. Go in, open lever. Go in about 1/4 of an inch, I would say. Like, I only have so much room to fade. So I'll kind of like to even that out, divide it into what is my half, my one, and then my lever open. So I have 3 guides that I kind of have to squeeze in between this area. Go in, a lot of flicking out. Flick out, flick out. I'm not looking to make a perfect line when it comes to this guide. Like I said, on my fading, I kind of just want it to blend in with each other. Close it a little bit, touch up right under that line. Close it a little bit more, get right under that line. Once I do that, close it all the way. Now I'm focused on my bottom line, which was my shaver, my balding line. Take that, flick it up, flick it up. And just because I already put my trimmer on it, this is kind of the next step that goes towards it. So most likely, most of the time it'll blend up. Maybe if it doesn't, you still have a little bit of a weight. You can always go back to your trimmer and just touch it up a little bit. That's all depending on how you're feeling on your fade, how it's coming out. So now I go to my half. I'll do the same thing, kind of just ridge out. Not trying to go all the way to the line, kind of halfway. Lever open. Now with this step, the half, I don't really like making a guide. It's kind of just deleting that line. That's all you want to do. Delete the lines, use the corners, just to delete that bottom line. You're not really fading at this point. Picking corners, use about these 2 teeth. Flip corners, close it, corner. So now that I'm at this step, I like lining him up just to see anything that I have kind of by his temple, any dark spots, stuff like that. So I'll go in, line him up just up front. When I line up, I don't use a lot of pressure. Just kind of cut the hair. Trimmer are not zero gap, so just let the trimmer do his work. And kind of you see the little dark spots as they go. Like I said, you always pick up that trimmer. Just touch up, touch up, touch up. A little bit of a dark spot right here. Touch that up. Double check that with my mirror real quick. Okay. So I just have a little bit of a dark shadow compared to the rest here. Just a little bit of a dark spot. Go in, just the same thing I did with my half corner. Close it. And it's just corner flicking. A lot of corner flicking. So now that I have this weight right here, typically that weight I would take it off, clipper over comb, make it easier for myself. I always try to use a comb that's not the same hair color. So I use the white just because you have a lot more contrast, you can see everything. Put that in, I'm trying to ridge it out a little bit. Debulk. Put it in, ridge it out. Debulk. Go in, ridge out, debulk. And I'm doing that, just like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm trying to leave a little bit of that weight. Come straight up. Get off. Come up, out, ridge off. Now that I've done that step, I'll go ahead and go in with my thinning shears. Thin out any heavy line that I'll see. Of course, we're trying to leave that little bit of that ridge, but you still see a little bit of the shadow. So, same thing you do with the other comb. Ridge out, come all the way up. Go in, come out, ridge all the way up. Normally, I don't like to ridge them out when it comes to, I kind of like a natural edge, just the baby hairs, anything that's out of that slick back. I know a lot of people kind of will leave a ridge. Once I start at the middle. So my first guideline, put that in. I'll go to my right. Touch. And when I'm lining them up, I'm just touching. I'm not dragging it. All I want to do is get my line first. I'm focused on my line. Don't worry about that excess hair. That'll come off. When it comes to the side, just go in. Now here, you can go ahead and go in. Make sure your trimmers aren't sharp. Or just drag down a little bit. Comb that out. Now once you see, if you see this at an angle, look down for me just a little bit. You see he has kind of these hairs sticking up. Sometimes you can actually grab a 1.5 and go down with the clipper. With him, just because his line, we don't have much edge going on. It'll come at an angle, up, down, and then just finish off at that line. That angle, I come down, finish off on that line. Come down. Just so any hair that's sticking out, you take care of it as well. Double check them, look up. Perfect. Now, in case I need to touch anything out after that step, I'll just go ahead and go in. I'll go over to the other side. This side, his hair grows. We don't have much edge going on compared to the other side. So here, what I would normally do, touch this little bit. Those are kind of baby hairs. Just touch that. These hairs, these up, and I'll line just these little ones. So his edge is more in the corner. Like I said, I'm not looking for a crazy sharp edge on them. I like something more natural. fits with the slick back a little bit more. Now double check them, look in the mirror, have them look down just a little bit. That's how you double check that line. I double check, now this is where I check balance. I'll check his corners here, I'll check these. I'll make sure when it comes down to the ridge that they're both even. Check that, I feel like I have to touch it up just a little bit more on this side. So I'll go ahead and go in. Touch that up. Double check again. Look down for me just a little bit. Perfect. Be using Dorco razors. Put some shaving gel. Just a little bit. Kind of disperse it out. You don't want too much shaving gel. Temples. Every razor. Start at his edge. Just pull it up a little bit. Just get those hair out of the way. Give you a little bit more room so you can. Just gives you a little bit more room so you can shave while you're lining them up. Some people go against the grain at this step just because it gives you a little bit of a sharper edge. Pull them up. And just go ahead and razor down. Same thing I would do on the other side. Push his hair up, get it out of the way. And the excess, anything that's laying out, I'll take this opportunity just to take it with the razor as well. Here, roll them up. Push this up. That'll give you a little bit of more of a round corner. Get in with that razor. And when I'm lining them up, I'm using about just a fourth of my razor. Not using the whole thing. So just keep that razor angled a little bit. And just pull down. And that's pretty much the haircut. Slick back, mid fade. Has a little bit of a drop in the back.